Boy, do we have guys who can do that in this one. Welcome to the home of the Alabama Crimson Tide. Tuscaloosa, Alabama, Saban Field at Bryant-Denny Stadium. As we'll see, the number 11 team in the country, the Vanderbilt Commodores, taking on a team from the playoff a year ago, the Alabama Crimson Tide. 3A Sports College Football. I'm Reese Davis, David Pollock, Jesse Palmer alongside. Guys, we can't wait to see this game. Been looking forward to it all week. Commodores will kick it away to start. And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. So Alabama's offense will go to work first. And guys, as this year has gone on, it has become harder and harder to ignore the excellence that this quarterback is putting out there each and every week.
Well, the secret's out now. And I think at the start of the year, everybody knew this guy was talented. They wanted to see if he could be consistent, though. And David, he's been that through the first half of the season. So now he's got the target on his back. He's got to elevate his play because everybody knows he's what makes this offense go.
But he's got to do it when it matters most. And that's when we start talking about winning conference championships at the end of the year, getting into the playoffs. So great start, great middle. How he finishes will determine whether he's going to be at that Heisman ceremony.
Cranking up a drive like that can really get you going. It's first down from the 44. Breaks into the open. Touchdown, Alabama! He got it loose, and it was lights out after that.
And as a coach, you're just hoping your offense can take the field on the first series of the game and create a little bit of momentum, get into a rhythm. How about that running play? Hitting a home run early in this game. You know that's got the sidelines all juiced up.
On the move from inside his 5. And a really nice job by the kick team to get down there and make sure they limit that return. So Vanderbilt's offense will have its first possession of the game. And the story is going to be in this one. Will this quarterback be able to operate before that big fella on the defensive front gets right in his grill, Jesse?
And listen, he's one of the best quarterbacks in the country, but he better play with the clock in his head in this one. He's not going to have a lot of time. There are a lot of quarterbacks around the SEC that probably felt this way back when they played the Georgia Bulldogs and David Pollock, right?
Yeah, especially those real teams with Jordan Davis and Nolan Smith and Jalen Carter. But, like, here's what's fun. You can't throw the ball off your back. And that's what this guy's going to try to do. Get to the quarterback, affect him. The bottom line is every quarterback becomes really human when you hit him. Can he hit him and make him human?
Quick handoff. They'll knock him down for a loss of a couple.
And, man, it's nice to have a guy that is just better than your guys. And no matter what play you call, man, how about him getting in the backfield quick, penetrating, using his quickness, and using his strength to get him to the ground. That is a ball.
When you reach this point in the season, these types of games, top 25 matchups, really determine whether you're going to be a contender.
Yeah, and really show what you're going to be the rest of the season. How you're going to finish strong throughout the season. You know, the first part of the season, now getting to the middle of the season, Palmer, getting a chance to show what you're about so you can finish strong.
It's a resume builder, no doubt about it. And really, there's been so much anticipation building up to this top 25 matchup. So which team can control their emotions, I think, goes a long way in who wins this one.
Looking to throw on first down. That's caught. It's Ferguson. Nice pickup there. Gets him the first down and sets him up at the 45-yard line. And the Commodores headed quickly to the line. Looking downfield on first down. Fires to the big fella.
I'll tell you, I love the play call on first down here. You're just trying to find an easy completion, and the shortest throw on the field for a quarterback is finding your biggest target, and that's the tight end. Nice job.
This crowd bringing the energy and noise early. sticks. It's Barmore. He'll pick up a few before going out of bounds at the 34.
Well, the defense makes the tackle. They give up the first down. They've now got to communicate the next play call. They can't substitute because the offense is going fast.
They just keep firing. Grabbed over the middle. It's Barmore. All down, but they'll move the sticks as he picks up the first down. The Commodores didn't start this drive with great field position, but they have moved methodically down the field. Stopped in the backfield. He's going to lose 3 yards on the play.
And that play shows you really what this defense is about. It's a difficult one to attack. They're really good. One of the best in the country. They come at you from all angles. So I'm interested to watch. How do you mix up the play calling? How do you keep the defense off balance? Because they are a good one.
Second down, they'll go to the air. And he was drilled just as he released the pass. It's incomplete.
Well, on the opening drive of the game, establishing a rhythm and a cadence offensively is really, really important. They've done some good things on this first drive to put them in this situation. Obviously, you just threw an incompletion on second down. You're likely going to throw it again here right now. Quarterback has just got to settle in. Timing is important. Get rid of the ball on time. Trust your read and execute this.
Intercepted. They were back in their own end. Stop the drive. The sudden change on the turnover. Man, he was looking for running room. Couldn't find that, but they'll have it at the 22. They'll snap this one to start the drive from their own 22. Dropping back, it's Russell. Pulls it in, it's Moffett. Right midfield, he's got room. And they're getting it rolling with that play to the 42-yard line. They used the jump play to cross midfield, and they've got it 1st and 10 just outside the 40. Gives it on the option. This time he doesn't get loose, and finally the defense gets him bottled up behind the line.
And I'd go back to him again after that first carry, but the defense more ready. They're more alert, dialed into the running back. They're like, listen, we've given up one big play. All eyes on him. Nice job getting the guy on the ground.
Back to pass. Pressure is effective from the defense. They knock him down just behind the midfield stripe at the 48.
And they get to the quarterback and get the sack. That's a big emphasis for this defense. They saw a week ago, this offense gave up 3 sacks. They need to get to him early and often and create some indecision. Nice job getting a sack early in this football game.
Gets the back moving. On 3rd and long, you'll have to turn it loose deep. That's caught. It's Moffett. Stopped right at the 42-yard line as this defense forces a 4th down.
You got to love that. On defense, one of the most critical statistics out there is how do you play on 3rd down? How do you prevent the opponent from keeping drives alive? Right there, tackling the catch. You gave up the completion. Whoop-de-doo. You've set up 4th and long. You're going to get the ball back. Go get some water and celebrate.
Just drives it between the uprights. And that lead grows even bigger. Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Guys, let's recap that ACC matchup that has just gone final. North Carolina ran roughshod over the competition today en route to a double-digit victory. And they looked clean doing it. And I don't just mean in those Carolina blue unis. This team is a buttoned-up group. One thing we can always count on in the ACC is a spirited battle and a game that will make waves all.
He's got it down the left. And it looked as if he might take that one all the way to the house. Just ran out of a little steam, and the defense finally got it.
Man, this offense is so dangerous, Reese. They've got dudes all over the field that can make plays. There's a big gainer in the pass game.
You get a chunk of yards like that, now the defense is really on its heels. To the air on 1st down. He'll take a shot. And that incomplete pass caused by the big hit on 1st down. 2nd down coming.
Well, they were trying to sneak him out of the backfield that time into the passing game, but that did not fool anybody on defense. What a hit, forcing that incompletion.
Behind the chains now on 2nd and long. Leaves it with the back. Brought down after a good pickup, and they're in the red zone at the 20. So Alabama takes the lead into the quarter break. They largely dominated this first quarter as indicated by the stats. So they go back to work after the break, and it is 3rd down. From the gun, wants to pass. Gets it out fast. Picks up enough to give them 1st and 10 from the 11. And the Commodores will hustle to the line. Pulls and fires it complete to the right. They'll get it down to the 8-yard line on that throw and catch, and the defense is backed up against the wall.
For a wide receiver screen to work, you've got to have better blocking out in front by other receivers, and they're just not physical enough at the point on that last play.
2nd down coming up on this red zone opportunity. Motion from the back. Using his feet to buy time. And he's loose, and he'll take it to the house. Touchdown, Vandy. Well, that didn't necessarily go as planned, but it was most effective in the end.
I love it, Reese. Down in the red zone, and this quarterback didn't have anybody open. Didn't panic. He just decided, man, I'm going to go do this myself. I'm going to use my wheels and put up 6 on the board. He did just that.
On to attempt the try. And the PAT will draw them 1 point closer. So that scoring drive took only 6 plays. The kickoff unit is out there, and boy, did that last drive quiet this crowd. And it'll be a touchback. The ball will come out to the 25-yard line. Guys, here comes that Alabama offense onto the field. Man, how comforting is it to know that even if your offense stalls out a little, Jesse, that field goal kicker can knock it in from a long way out.
Well, he's one of the best in the country, Reese, no doubt. But this offense would like him and prefer for him to kick an extra point on this drive. And to do that, David, they've got to have more rhythm on him.
Yeah, create some more rhythm, create some more explosive plays, and maybe some more balance. And listen, it's nice to have that weapon and kick long field goals. If you kick too many field goals, you don't get very many W's.
Rides the back and leaves it. They pushed it out to the 39 after picking up 5.
Really nice run there. No, listen, modern-day college football, I know it's all about spread offense and throwing the football and going up tempo and scoring quickly, but, man, you think back to Bear Bryant in Alabama, doesn't it always seem like they've always wanted to establish the run game? They have always wanted to be physical. Bear Bryant would have loved this guy in his backfield. With his physical style of running, man, he fits that just perfect.
Plenty of distance between them and the sticks here on 2nd down. Scanning the field, it's Russell. Under fire. Quickly out to the tight end. He's close to the 1st down, but they're going to mark him just a little short.
Well, you hear all the time that the tight end's the QB's best friend. You saw a perfect example of it on that last play, right? Second down, you need to pick up some positive yards to keep this third down manageable. Really nice job of executing there.
They'll try to run for it. They tried to go smash mouth on 3rd and short, and it did not work against this defense. Looks as if the Tide will punt it away. They'll have to punt for the first time this afternoon. Boy, they had a chance to track that thing down, but it bounces into the end zone for a touchback. Vanderbilt has the ball again, and here comes that Commodore offense. They took it down the field for a touchdown the last time they had it, and now an opportunity to take the lead in this football game.
So they got to be feeling good. They did their part, score. Your defense does your part, Jesse. This offense, keep that momentum. I would say stay aggressive here.
And just keep doing what you were doing on that last drive, right? Or whatever was working for you, just go back. Keep using those same playmakers to allow you to go down here and score a touchdown.
And that pressure got to him quick. I mean, you talk about you want your quarterback to feel comfortable. Man, he didn't have time to feel comfortable. He didn't have time to get his feet set and get in the ground. This offensive line's got to do a better job.
Got a man. It's Ferguson. Good pick up a little bit short of the sticks.
And these quarterbacks have to really trust their wide receivers that they're going to be disciplined, run to the right route when they're throwing that ball to the outside like that, because those corners are sitting there on the inside, and the worst thing that could happen is to miss inside and that cornerback be going the other direction.
Wants to throw on 3rd. Hauls it in. And he's got enough for the first down. They'll mark it at the 34. Commodores moving quickly to the line. These two guys, just on the same wavelength, they make clutch connections all the time.
And that's practice, man. That's all summer. That's all spring.
He's got it along the sideline. Defense on skates that time. They finally drag him down at the 42.
He's been a matchup problem all season long. Defenses just don't know how to solve the puzzle. And with that last catch, over 500 yards receiving now on the year for him.
Wants to go up top on first down. It's complete to the left. Tough, physical, hard-nosed running gets it to the 34. And the Commodores with a 2nd and short to keep this drive moving. They send the tight end in motion. Here's the handoff. Squeezes out a couple of yards down to the 32.
And, man, the big fellas up front, they don't get a lot of credit. They don't get talked about a lot unless it's negative, but they're the big component, man. They've got to get some push, to get some running lanes, get this running game going. They're the ones that make it go.
Down to 2 minutes to play in the half. The referee signaled for the 2-minute timeout. The Tide crowd rolling noise down onto Saban Field on 3rd down. To the ground to try to move the chains. Stopped in the backfield, and this defense has forced him into 4th down. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. They'll try to quiet this crowd by moving the sticks on 4th down. Just a short pass to the tight end. He's not going to get there. Stopped short on 4th down.
Man, aggressive play calls. Everybody wants you to be aggressive. They're aggressive. They take their shot. Now they got to live with a little bit of the consequences. They turn the football.
Oh, he's got some space. Tackled at the 43 after picking up 10.
We got all these fancy pass plays and all these fancy formations and shifts and motions and all this stuff you make me think about as a defensive guy. And then you slip that in. Really nice job by the offense.
Sends it downfield. It's picked off. Don't see that very often from this Heisman Trophy candidate. He'll be stopped, but not before getting the football and picking up big yardage on the return. What a play there.
Well, the defense came into this one knowing they needed to create takeaways to try to gain as much momentum as they could. Really nice interception on that play. Great job with the eyes by the defender there picking that off.
They take over late and have enough time to put together a drive. Fires to the middle. Wide open downfield. They bring him down, but the big play will move the sticks. The Commodores racing to the line in a hurry-up. Looking to throw on first down. It's complete to the right. And he's going to be taken down, but there's a penalty flag on the field. They say you could call holding on every play. Well, they did on that one. First down here for the offense. He's looking to throw. Finds his tight end. And he runs through one tackle and picks up a few. Hey, we're getting close to halftime, and it looks as if the big fella wants to be all over the highlights.
Goodness gracious, he is open. Well, when he leaves the huddle, apparently he's open. A ton of catches already early in this ball game. They are featuring him and finding him.
Snagged in the middle, it's Ferguson. He hauled that one in and got it down to the 15-yard line. They're at their fastest tempo trying to get off this third down play. Got it, looking for a first. All down, but he has enough to move the chains. It's a first down. They'll stop the clock to reset the chains. Offense up tempo. Wants to throw on first down. And it's incomplete. If you're going to take a hit like that, you might as well hang on to the ball.
Well, this offense has gone his way early and often in this game. They've gotten into a nice rhythm. That time, though, the defense was expecting to throw going his way. They put a really nice hit on him to force the incompletion.
Going to work on second down in the red zone. Is still some ground to cover to pick up that first down. Back to throw, and they've got to be aware of the clock. Makes the catch, and he will score. Touchdown Doors.
A really nice job on their final drive of the first half, David. Calm, cool, collected. They had balance, excellent execution. They're going to take a lead in here at halftime.
It's so much easier to go into half with that positive momentum, that positive juice. Now we can point to what we just did. Great job taking the lead. Now you go make your halftime adjustments.
And he'll just take a knee, and this drive will start at the 25. Here comes that Alabama offense. So let's see how they play it in this final 30 seconds of the first half. Last drive ended with an interception, and they can't afford to have that happen again. At the 35, he's loose. There's a timeout on the field. Tight game here late in the first half.
Defensively, you'll take the slow death. You'll take 3, 4, 5 yards a pop. But you can't give up the massive plays. You got to do a better job containing the football, making him run to guys, and get him on the ground. For goodness sakes, this guy is fast, I know, but defensively, we got to swarm to the football and get him on the ground.
This defense has a lot of speed, especially in the secondary, and you saw that speed. That defender got to that receiver so quick, and because of the hit, incomplete pass.
Pocket breaking down. Picked off, and they ruin an early drive with the turnover. And they make the play to stop the scoring opportunity just before the end of the half.
And this is obviously not a great start for this quarterback here. 2 interceptions already in this game. He's got to do a much better job with his decision-making.
Just enough time to get off one final play of the half. Looking to throw on first down. He's going to let one fly down the middle. Picked off, and they ruin an early drive with the turnover. Picked up a few extra on that return, but what a play by this defense to get the football. We played 2 quarters here. Time to go to Kevin Connors in our halftime update.
Gentlemen, what else else is new? A spirited environment there in Tuscaloosa.
They're lined up and ready to kick off this second half. And he's going to bring it out of the end zone. Gets it out to the 20, about 5 yards short of where he'd be if he'd just taken a knee in the end zone. Vanderbilt has it back and heading out to go on the attack. They have the lead to start the third quarter, but I'd imagine ball security was a topic at halftime.
Yeah, and I think you take the lead and you try to stay optimistic with your team, but you also say, guys, if we had taken care of the football.
And the quarterback goes down at the 11-yard line. And it is hardly a big surprise that this Alabama defense is hitting hard and making their presence felt in the backfield.
Yeah, it's what they built their brand on. They built it on physicality and stopping the run, and you've seen over the last several years, too. After they do that, they come after your quarterback, and they try to get that sucker on the ground.
On third and short, they'll ride the running back here. He's going to come up a couple of yards short of the first down. Boy, if they don't convert this fourth down, there will be questions to be answered. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Working the middle, it's complete. And they finally make the tackle, but this will be a pretty easy conversion for this offense. That took nerves of steel to convert that fourth down on the road.
Oh, man, the crowd going nuts. A big-time opportunity in the third quarter to create some momentum. Help them go crazy. Help them go nuts. But the offense does their job, quiets the crowd, gets the big fourth down conversion.
And good coverage by the defense, just a short gain.
Listen, running backs are not just running backs anymore. You're going to be a wide receiver in today's football. A great job sneaking out of the backfield, getting the football, letting them get some positive yards.
Second down, he'll throw it. Unloads to the right. It's caught downfield. A quick tackle made, but he's got plenty for the first down. And the Commodores are moving quickly down the field. Trying the left side. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. Got stuffed on first down. It's 2nd and 10. Now they'll run the draw. They'll pick up 5. It'll be 3rd and 5.
And I think this has probably been the most surprising thing of this game so far. This guy's one of the best running backs in the entire country. They just can't get him going. He's never been able to get into a rhythm. You got to give the defense so much credit because they have been able to shut this guy down. And they got to keep that up here in the second half.
And he's knocked down at the 42. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. And they'll pat the kicker on the tail and tell him to go give it a shot. This crowd trying to do its part to get inside the kicker's head. The lead is still full.
Oh, just didn't have enough leg. It looked like he had the accuracy. It looked like it was going right between the uprights, just not enough power on the kick.
Pulled and fired complete. He's brought down quickly. Minimal gain there, still a bit short of the first down. Alabama with a multitude of options on 2nd and short. Back to throw, it's Russell. Gonna take a shot at this DB. He's got it on the outside. Touchdown, Bama! And with that, they've got the lead here in the second half.
Man, oh man, when you got a weapon like that, you got to find him, and you got to give him the ball in space. You have some plays on your play sheet, and some of them just say, that guy, get him the ball, let him do the rest. Dangerous weapon out of the backfield, catching the football, making the big play.
And it'll come out to the 25. No attempt at a return. Vanderbilt has the ball again, and here comes that Commodore offense. They built up some time of possession with that last drive, but couldn't turn it into points with the missed field goal. We'll see if they can put something on the board this time. Finds a tight end. That's the kind of play that can really get you going as they get it out to the 36. Looking for a productive play on first down. Looking downfield on first down. Hit hard just as he released it on first down and just couldn't get it to the receiver.
Well, the offensive line has got to give him at least a little bit of time to survey the field. He had no chance that time, getting hit almost immediately after he got the ball.
Finds a little space. The 47 after a 10-yard gain.
Defense is going to have their hands full trying to get this guy on the ground, man. He's got some serious moves once he has the ball in his hands.
The Commodores have it with a 1st and 10. They're trying to slow that rush down with the draw. The draw draws nothing except a swarm of... He's stopped immediately.
And yeah, that's kind of surprising. And we talked about this before the game. One of the big matchups. Run the football against a defense that's been susceptible against the run throughout the season. But this offense just can't find a way to get it going. And I'm surprised, but now what's your counterpunch? How are you going to get the ground game going? Because so far, not a lot of success.
Lost one on that last one. It's 2nd and 11. Wants to go up top. Nowhere close on that one as he got drilled trying to deliver the football, and now they face 3rd down.
He didn't have a whole lot of time to get rid of that one. The defense was all over him right after the snap. No wonder that thing fell.
On 3rd and long, trying to have a big completion here. And the incomplete pass will bring up 4th down.
And you got to expect this offense to go for it again here on 4th down, right? Obviously trailing, we're in the 2nd half, but we saw them try to go for it on 4th down early. Didn't have any success. They've got to dial up a better play here.
And nobody able to field that punt as it rolls out of bounds. Opening play of this drive comes from the 12-yard line. Oh, better look out. Good pickup on that play. It'll bring up 2nd and 4.
Yeah, he does a really good job being decisive, getting downhill, being a great runner. And guess what? You know how easy offense is when you get me at 2nd and short, 2nd and medium. Everything in the playbook is open to me.
Here's a heat. Grabbed in the middle. It's Moffitt. And he's got enough for a 1st down. Now to see if they have enough time to snap it again here in the 3rd. We've reached the break, and Alabama has the lead. Let's take a quick look at the national rankings to see how this playoff race is shaping up. So 1st down will open up the final period. He'll ride his man on the option. And he never had a chance to get the pitch off on the option as he's tackled in the backfield.
Phenomenal job by the defense that time, shutting down the option play. They knew they were going to see this in this game, and all week long in practice, they really focused on this assignment football, making sure the dive, the quarterback, the pitch, all taken away. Nowhere to go with the football that time offensively. The defense coming up with a huge negative play.
The Crimson Tide looking for a big play to convert on 3rd down. Looking to throw, it's Russell. Bringing the heat. Pressure's there, and he gets rid of it. And they fail to hook up on 3rd down. And here comes the punt team. This will be the 2nd time they've had to kick it away. You couldn't dial it up much better than that as he knocks it out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. Vanderbilt has it back and heading out to go on the attack. Not the day they had hoped to have, but when you are a ranked team, you are going to get everyone's best shot. Now let's see if they can pull this one out. Trying to make that rush think on the draw play here. An explosive play in the running game as he's got the 1st down. And the Commodores want to crank the tempo.
And after giving up a long run defensively, they don't have a chance to substitute now. They've got to get ready to go because the offense is going tempo.
Quick strike complete. At the 35, he's open. And he goes out of bounds, but finally this passing game gets something going here as they try to rally.
A nice passing game by this offense. The quarterback and the receiver on the same page, in time, in rhythm, creates the big play. And look at them, they're right back on the football, ready to run another play. Yeah, this offense has to find a way to run the football. They got to get more creative, or whatever that looks like for this offense, something to jumpstart them because nothing really going on the ground.
Yeah, defensively, though, you got to get...
He's got it on the left. And that looked as if it might go all the way, but they picked up more than 40 yards before the touchdown-saving tackle. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. Finally, some signs of life from this offense, which has done nothing in the second half. It's 1st and 10. Catch in the middle, it's Ferguson. That completion takes them down to the 7-yard line, and they are ready to strike. So now the opportunity to take the lead with a 1st and goal here. Lets it go to the end zone. Touchdown, Vanderbilt. And they grab the advantage, taking the lead here in the 4th. They'll try to tack one more on their score. And the extra point is good, and every point counts. It's now a 4-point lead in the 4th. And let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. Kevin?
Interesting showdown in the MAC today, man. Take a look at how things are playing out. UMass sure is making the flagship proud today. What a spectacular performance on the offensive side of the ball. They're up by 17 over Western Michigan. Any big developments here in the MAC, we've got you covered with the best studio team in the business. Guys?
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be keeping an eye on it for us. The Tide offense rolls onto the field. This certainly hasn't been their best day, but there's no time for mistakes now. They have to execute if they want to snatch this thing from the fire. He's got 98 yards on the ground, and that's just another routine day for this guy who's been among the nation's leaders in rushing all season long. Motion from the wide receiver. Using his feet. And he won't quite get there, but boy, after that pickup, just a few inches to go for the first, an array of possibilities here. The Crimson Tide need just a few inches here on 3rd down. Tries to slither forward on the sneak. And the defense carries the day. They win at the line of scrimmage, and they stuff him on 3rd and inches. We've got a timeout here as this coach is challenging the call. He wants to give the replay booth a chance to have another look. And how about the keen eyes and sharp awareness from the coach to challenge that call, and the officials agree it'll go his way. Alabama comes to the line with 1st and 10. They'll move the tight end. Dropping back, it's Russell. Throws to the wideout. Caught over the middle, it's Moffitt. Found a bunch of room and got it to the 44-yard line. Alabama rolling quickly downfield, set up with another 1st down. Use the play fake, now to throw. The Crimson Tide just hoping at least to get some of the yardage back here on 2nd down. Looking to fire. Quickly to the tight end. How about this sophomore stopping him short of the 1st down line?
I like the idea by the quarterback there. You're trying to get this 1st down, so you find the tight end, see if you can make a guy miss or shake a tackle. Not able to get it done.
Alabama with a ton of ground to cover on this 3rd down. From the gun, wants to pass. Here comes the heat. Makes the grab inside the 30. And this defense was flailing as he weaved his way and got down to the 26. This offense lines up feeling awfully good after that big play. They'll ride the running back and leave it with him. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. Didn't get much on 1st down. It's 2nd and 9. Out of the gun, the inside handoff to the running back. Able to make the stop after a gain of 2 to the 22.
And that run really didn't go anywhere, and a lot of times we don't focus on it enough, but how important those 5 guys are up front. To get on those defensive linemen, to try to move them out of the way, to get a run game going, it squarely falls on the shoulder of those 5 offensive linemen.
Down a possession here in the fourth, and they'll need to convert on this fourth down. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Can't find his man. It'll be incomplete, and that is a heartbreaker this late in the game. Vanderbilt has the ball again, and here comes that Commodore offense. Here comes the biggest drive for the defense, desperate to get a stop. To the air on first. Makes the grab almost to the first down marker, but a good pickup on that one. Timeout called there by the defense, desperate to get the ball back and save as much time as possible. Motion from the wideout. They'll run it to keep the clock moving. Tackled at the 45 after a 5-yard pickup. Quick timeout called by the defense, stopping the clock to save as much time as possible for their offense. The offense getting set for a first down from the 45. To the ground. He's got it again. Got the first down. Looking for more. That is just the kind of run you want when you're trying to close out a game. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. On 1st and 10 from the 38. They go to the ground.
Well, that's a double whammy for the offense. You've got the lead late in the game. You're trying to keep the clock ticking. Not only do you lose yards running the football, but you also went out of bounds, so you stop the clock, essentially helping out the defense.
Quarterback may change this route. They'll send the back in motion. Going to swing it on 2nd down. And that's going to be incomplete. A lot of contact on the play, but no flags. It'll be 3rd down.
What a hit by the defender. That's a good throw, and that was going to be caught, but how about the defender dislodging the football from its intended target? Nice job.
On 3rd down, he'll try to pick it up through the air. And it's taken away by the defense, and they desperately needed that turnover. Clock stops. We have reached the 2-minute timeout, and the offense is looking for a play to close this deal out. They'll put the ball in play from their own 30-yard line. Looking downfield, it's Russell. And he can't get it off. Taken down. What a huge play this late in the game.
Well, here we are late in the game, and this secondary, they are still covering. They forced the QB to hold on to it, and then he bailed out, trying to buy himself more time. And because he couldn't get rid of the football so quickly early, that allowed the pass rush to get to him.
Back to pass on 2nd down. He wants a big play here late. And he is finding wide-open defenders all over the field. His 3rd interception of the day. Finally brought down, but what a play, not only to get the football, but to flip the field position with the return. Vanderbilt has it back and heading out to go on the attack. One possession game, getting late, first order of business, just take care of the football.
So they call this situation 4-minute offense, where you're trying to run the football and throw high percentage passes to maintain possession and bleed the clock. This is a very difficult point of the game to execute at a high level, Dave.
Yeah, and listen, what you understand as an offense is if I get 1 or 2 first downs, this ball game's over. And that's your sole objective. Not scoring, take care of the football, get a few first downs, walk out with the W.
Wide receiver going in motion. They'll go to the ground, fighting off the defender.
the big fella in the middle, man. Those defensive tackles, they go such a long way in deciding and really stopping the other team's run game. Just forcing contact with those guards and those centers, owning the line of scrimmage, and getting running backs on the ground.
They'll immediately call timeout.
Timeout, Vanderbilt.
At this point, the defense has little choice but to sell out to stop the run on 2nd and 7. Running back searching for a hole. This freshman makes the stop after a short gain.
I think if you're offense here, the game boils down to this one play on 3rd down with the lead late. If you get the first down, that's ball game. There's not enough time left for the defense to get it back and go march down the field. So let's dial up our best play offensively. Let's make sure our best players are touching the football here.
The give to the back. He gets enough for the first down. Crowd is silent. Chains are moving. Clock still going. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. The Commodores with the 1st and 10. They'll move the wide receiver. They'll run it out of the shotgun. You'll take 4 yards on 1st down every time, 2nd and 6.
And I think the defense would be really happy with where they're at right now. They knew they had held their stud down to his little yards, but they're trailing. And this is the time where he's going to get the ball even more. So they got to be ready for him. It's going to him. He's a great back, and they've done a pretty good job all day.
And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play. The give to the back. And that is how we will wrap this one up. Guys, if you want to go strictly by the rankings, I guess this was an upset, but to my eyes, we saw 2 really good teams slug it out, and one of them came out on top.
Yeah, 2 really good teams. And that's a reason why they're both ranked. They're both really good, and I tell you what, getting this win proves something to everyone else now. Like, I was ranked below this squad. You beat a team that's ranked above you. Now you start to climb up the charts, build some momentum. This squad's about to get some more respect, Bama.
I think good teams find ways to win games, especially in a game like this. 2 ranked opponents, evenly matched. Who's going to be able to make the plays when it matters the most? You got to give this team credit. This is a big win. It's impressive, and now they get to move up the rankings.
That's going to do it from here. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis, and you've been watching another presentation of EA Sports College Football.